Welcome everyone to join the online admission webinar for HKUST School of Business and Management. So my name is Emily Nason. Let me first introduce myself. I am the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Student Affairs, which also includes in charge of admission. So today we are very pleased that we have two students who join us for the webinar to share with you a bit about the program highlights, how it's like to studying at HKUST Business School, and about student life. So maybe the students first introduce yourself.
So hello everyone, my name is Natalie. I'm currently a year 2 student majoring in management.
And hello everybody, I'm Sanyak from Malaysia. I'm a year 3 student majoring in global business and information systems.
All right, so to start, maybe share with us why do you choose to stay in Hong Kong for university study?
Well, initially my family wanted me to stay close to them, so I decided my uni destination would be Hong Kong. However, during my uni planning, I had no idea and have any sorts of information about the university. So the first thing that I do was check the rankings. And I know that I've always wanted to go into the business industry in the future. So I checked specifically world rankings by subject. And when I was checking it, the first university that I got was HKUST, which is ranked number 16. And I started to gain interest in this university and I attended their information day. And I still remember that day you were the speaker and I was the audience. But
so I probably did an okay job.
Yes, very, very okay job. Yeah. So then after that, I just fell in love with this place. I feel very comfortable talking to the students. They were very informative. At the same time, the view, the scenery was just spectacular. And like studying in this really like city-like area, it's really hard to find a place that can like relax and like just release stress. And I feel like this is a perfect place. That's why I chose UST.
So it's true that if you are interested in studying business, HKUST would be a very good choice. Business school, all our subjects actually is ranked top ranked in Asia and also in the world, and we cover a wide range of different subjects. So how about Sanyak? What is your consideration when thinking about university choices?
For me, I received offers from other universities such as UCL or NTU, but ultimately it boils down to a few criteria that I really look after on-campus life. Hong Kong, even though we know as a very hustle and bustle city, HKUST is one of the few that has a campus like a bubble. That's why I enjoy the sceneries, the beaches, the library, everything. While London and Singapore, we're still living in the town, in the city, right in the middle of the city, and the weather's just nice. It's far enough away from my family, which is from Malaysia, and of course, when we talk about career, Hong Kong, London, and Singapore, they're all potential, but I chose in Hong Kong.
So if you can see that if you talk about career opportunity, Hong Kong is really a global financial center, and there's a lot of opportunity for our students. Our students do very well in terms of being preferred by a lot of the employers. If we look at where our graduates go after they graduate, you can see there's actually quite a spread. And one of the reasons why our students are very competitive in the job market is a lot of them have internship experience, almost everybody, and over majority of them will have multiple job offers. If you look at the spread, about 30% going to finance and banking, 20% going to management trainee kind of job, 20% going to accounting. There's really, across marketing, IT, and so forth. Some join government, and some will go on for further study. And we are very proud of, you talked about ranking before, but the ranking that we are most proud of is really the graduate employability survey ranking, because that ranking is purely based on how well our alumni, our graduates are doing out there across different corporates. And we've been rising in this ranking, and this year the ranking that just came out, we're ranked number 10. So we're really encouraged by this results. And as mentioned, almost everybody have some internship experience, and being in Hong Kong, our students have a lot of different options in terms of internship. So maybe you can share a bit about the internship experience that you have.
So I had a really rewarding experience interning as auditing and assurance intern in Deloitte. So because it's my first ever proper internship, the first thing that I get from my experience is adaptability. I was able to adapt to a more like business-like environment and also apply my practical skills that I learned from courses into my day-to-day working routine. Also, because Deloitte is under a project-based system, so every intern is assigned to a different specific like seniors. And I remember my seniors were very caring, and also they were very they have a lot of guidance on whenever I have questions. And the most memorable one was them organizing a staff lunch. It's a very informal one, but what they do is they try to get to know each other more, and also just giving me more advice on my future career plans, and also like just to talk about more about their working experience. Last but not least, networking. During my internship, I have met a lot of students from different universities, such as NYU, University of Bocconi, University of Hawaii, and so on. But of course, there's quite a lot that are from UST. And to this day, I still keep in contact with them, and we also have lunch, like sometimes.
Yeah. So as international student, is internship will be an issue for you, or what's your experience?
Even for me, I'm an international student, but I had this opportunity to work with a boutique asset management firm. They're very nice to me. It's a small team, so we are really active in a lot of projects. We have to dive deep into every research. We do management on bonds, stocks, infrastructure. We're just exposed to the variety of financial opportunities and investment clients as well. And I've been dealing with clients from Japan, from South Africa, or even Europe, family offices. And which is like independent. All we need is the rigorous and the attitude to strive harder in such a boutique. And the lack of hierarchy even allows us to learn how to work independently and be more productive.
That sounds really amazing. Well, maybe next I can share a bit about, in terms of the academic study, how we plan our curriculum. So at HKUST, our credit-based building block is very flexible. So students will take University Common Core and Business Foundation courses in their first 2 years. And then they can choose their major and then also add additional minor or other electives to make up their study. And actually for students who study international qualifications, oftentimes can get some credit transfer. Maybe Natalie can share a bit about what's your situation?
Of course. So normal IB students would at least get 22 credit transfer, but because my subjects were a bit different, I got 19 advanced credit. However, it's already equivalent to an entire semester. So what it's good for me is that it gives me time to step out of my comfort zone and join different like societies, such as Dance Society, Business Student Union, and Golden Z Club, which is like a mixture of business networking and community service.
Okay, so our students, they come in, they can spend time to choose their program of study. For us, we actually offer many programs. Our students, we offer 2 degrees. We offer, most of our students will pursue BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration, and we also offer some very more quantitative oriented Bachelor of Science program. As you can see from the slides, that we really have a wide range of coverage. We're also very collegial in the sense that we collaborate with other schools within the university to offer interdisciplinary programs that cater for students who have interests that span across multiple disciplines. So how does it work is that we have a hybrid admission model. Students can apply directly to program if they have specific interests, but actually majority of our students, about 70% of our students, will apply through the school-based admission. And some students will be a little concerned about whether if I apply for school-based, whether it will delay my progression in the study. So let me just explain a little bit more how it works. Actually, during the first 3 terms, the students would take the same set of University Common Core and Business Foundation courses. So whether you're admitted to a specific program or school-based, the curriculum is basically the same. And then at the end of the first 3 terms, we'll have major selection exercise, where students, when you're ready, partially depending on how much credit transfer you have and how many credits you have completed at HKUST, then you can choose one of the majors that you prefer, whether it's a BBA program or BSc program or one of these joint programs we have with other school. So it's really very flexible. So next, maybe, well, other than study, you know, people talk about very sort of stress and tension, a lot of academic pressure here. Is it all work and, you know, no activities?
It's actually dependent on how you manage your lifestyle. For me, I would say it's like a 50-50 that what I do. So what you can see right now, I joined a thing called UST Thing. So UST Thing is a necessity app that I'm sure every UST students will know. And it's
staff.
and staff, and it's actually sponsored by our Dean Professor Tam Gayan, and it's operated by students only. So not only it provides features like online group booking, online grade checkings, but also they would have like creative features such as timetable matching, where you able to match schedules with your friends. And this year I was able to be one of the core HR members in the team. And we have other departments such as quality assurance, developers, and also marketing and design. And I feel like it's a great experience for me to work in this like startup working environment, because it's just like you're able to apply your practical skills again to this place, and also just to be able to communicate with people and students from all different departments. Yes.
And sounds like you have something quite different, right? You have some quite different experience. Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah, sure. I think the main benefit in studying here is the opportunities around us. So for me, I'm interested in the frequent occurrence of typhoon. I never thought of Hong Kong as a place where it really depends on extreme weather. So I really wanted to see how, as students or even as citizens, how do we circumvent these obstacles. So what we do as researchers, we want to calculate the impact of extreme weather towards Hong Kong. But then again, we have to chunk the size smaller to a smaller question. So, so my team and I decided to first visualize Hong Kong's weather, given data from NASA, and then we work on analyzing the problem and hopefully coming up with a solution. So for me, there are a lot of opportunities for us to explore what we really want to do, and UST really gives us the platform to pursue what we really want to do in the future.
As a research-oriented university, I think we are really quite unique to offer research opportunity for students to get involved in research projects even during their undergraduate study. Actually, I also have students here who are thinking about maybe pursuing an academic career in the future, and they're able to really test out. It's sort of like doing an internship also to try out whether this is right for them, and really to learn about using different research methodology to enrich their study. Well, next, maybe we should talk about something more exciting, which is if you come to study at HKUST, we have a lot of opportunity also for students to interact not just with international students, but have a chance to go out. So for us, right now, we have over 130 exchange partners in over 40 countries. Half of our students will be able to join the exchange program to go out study abroad for a semester. If we also count visiting program and summer exchange, actually close to like over 3/4 of our students will have a study abroad experience. So this is really very exciting. So do you have some chance to study abroad? Maybe you can share.
So I have the opportunity to be nominated to study in Stanford University for the summer in my first year. So I took their world-class courses that they were known for, so computer science and their management science and engineering, which is very similar to business. But I think the more important is the people and the surrounding, what Silicon Valley actually means. And I'm able to immerse in the entrepreneur culture. I visited their HQs, talked to the people in them, had hackathons with them, and of course visited California, beautiful place, and I think it's really worth it.
And other than the summer program, we also able to join competition, right?
Yeah,
this is another way that our students get to travel and to learn. So
for this competition, my friend pulled me in, and so we decided to drill on this. Well, they know that I've no financial background at all. I dive deep into financial modeling, investment stuff, and basically lucky enough to be chosen to advance to the final round, where we get to present to the big names, the big bankers, and we're pitching luxury fashion industry, which of course in the first place I had no idea about it, but now I think I can shop with my female friends and give them and yeah, we ended up top 8.
Just female
worldwide.
friends? How about the other boys?
Yeah,
You're not
I
going to give some fashion advice?
I will help them.
Well, competition is one way that students learn through very steep learning curve, really work with others. So students are very active in both local, regional, and international competition, and did very well. Won quite a number of prizes. So maybe next, let's just share a bit more about the admission information. I hope that a lot of the audience are interested to apply to us. There are. Let me just give an overview about our student body. For us, we admit about 10% non-local students from Greater China, and then another 10% from internationally. And then within the local students, we will also admit some students who are pursuing international qualifications either in Hong Kong or overseas high school. For admission expectation, you can refer on the slide. We actually, in general, we don't have subject requirements. We welcome students who are studying science subject or arts. It's okay if you don't have any business subjects in your high school, and we welcome all of you. Except for several of our more quantitative oriented programs, we expect students will have solid background in calculus and mathematics, and you can refer to the reference score of some of the major international qualifications. In terms of interviews, only a few programs require interview. For the other programs, you might be invited to join an interview that we will also consider and give you bonus. We will have very detailed information about how to do the interview when you receive the invitation. So students will be asked to do a videotape online interview. It is a little bit challenging, but you'll have a chance to practice and to know what are the category of the questions. We will consider students for scholarship along with your application, so you don't have to apply separately. So just some reminder about the timeline. The application is ongoing now. For the main round application, we are assessing the applications on a rolling basis. So as soon as we receive the applications, we will look at the information. I will invite students for interview, and we'll also be giving out offers on a rolling basis. So if you're interested, definitely send in your application as soon as you can. I just want to mention that we have a special student athlete admission scheme. This year we are able to recruit and admit 2 very outstanding athletes to join us. And for this admission scheme, we not only provide scholarship, but also advising support so that students can pursue their academics as well as their sports. So I think for now, we will have some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please send it in. So we already received a bunch of questions, so maybe we can look at some of these first. So first question is, what should I write in my personal statement? If I apply to both science and business program, how should I write it? Well, so I think maybe I will share, and then you can add your advice. For personal statement, it doesn't have to be very subject oriented. I think what is important is for us to understand a bit more about your personal interest, and what is on the basic level, it is a writing sample. So you want to make sure that you write well, you do the spell check. You want to know what are your aspirations. So if you do have interest in multiple subjects, perhaps you write it more at a higher level instead of like specific program that you're applying to. Do you have any tips on personal statements?
For me, when I was doing my personal statement, I remember just writing something that represents you. Like when you look at the personal statement, it should be, oh, okay, I'm getting to know that person. And
that's the most.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next question is, do I have to have many business activities experience in high school to apply to business school? Do you have any business-related activities?
For me, 0. I came from a science background, so I studied physics, mathematics, further mathematics, and I want to immerse myself in such an entrepreneurial culture in HKUST.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so mainly we just look for students with general passion. It could be in different activities. Some students are passionate in music, in sports, in debate. It doesn't have to be business specific. So we want to see that students are engaged, leadership, some students do a launch service, so it doesn't really have to be business oriented. So the next question is about the composition of the student body. Most of the students from Hong Kong, how about the teachers? So maybe I can talk a bit about the faculty, and then maybe we can the students that you study with. In terms of the faculty, we are actually very international. Faculty profile will be very similar to any top business schools in the world. And as a local, I'm actually in the very minority. We only have about 12% faculty from Hong Kong, and most of us are trained around the world. Myself, I get my PhD from the US. And how about the students? What's your experience in the classroom? Do you mostly just learn with local students?
So you mentioned earlier we have a mixture of programs from different universities. So we have a lot that are from USA. I have a lot of friends that are from India. There's just a mixture of different diversities of students. And in a way, it's good for the school because we get to exchange cultures. How about you? How about you?
It is very difficult to be in a team with only one nationality.
Yeah, that's true.
We learn from each other. The very best.
So we have 20% full-time non-local students, and since every year we have about 400 exchange-in students, so the classroom is actually very diverse. So the next question is, if I want to start my own business, would there be any support from the school? Definitely, there's a lot of entrepreneurial activity. Maybe have you joined or be involved with some entrepreneurship-related activities?
For me, not at the moment, but I've seen a lot of exhibitions going on around the school showing that students in HKUST are opening, different types of businesses. So, for instance, recently we have postgraduates or also undergraduate who made another app that is about checking the time schedule for the minibus.
For the bus.
So there's just different varieties of entrepreneurship going on in USC.
Yeah, hackathons, and we actually, the business school, we just opened a pre-incubator space, so to allow students on the 7th floor, next to the dean's office, and so allow students who have ideas about entrepreneurship to really test out their ideas, to build prototype. Of course, we also have entrepreneurship-related courses. Students can also take an entrepreneurship minor. So there's just a lot of opportunity if you're interested in starting your own business. The next question is, I'm a bit confused how the credit transfer work. If I'm admitted, will we receive more info on what credits can we receive, or how does it affect our first year? So you have talked about credit transfer. Do you have any credit transfer when you join us? Maybe what's your experience?
So I did A-levels, Cambridge International A-levels. And of course, while studying the requirements and the credit transfer, UST made a really good job in being transparent. So there's this website where we can check the equivalent courses that we can transfer and see how we can arrange it into our further semesters.
So for credit transfer, if you are coming from international qualifications, we do two types of credit transfer. One is block transfer. For example, you can transfer certain number of credits for common core courses. For example, 9 credit of common core courses that will be accepted. And then you can also have subject to subject transfer, for example, English, mathematics, etc. And other than at admission, students also apply for credit transfer after their exchange semester or visiting program. So all those you can earn credit and transfer back to count as part of the HKUST requirement. So you can also talk to the faculty advisors to get advice for specific program situation. So the next question is, can students take gap year? Do you know any classmates who have or have planned to take a gap semester or gap year?
Yes, actually, it's really dependent on whether they have found a 6-month internship or so on. So I have friends that are planning to take a gap semester just to work at a firm for 6 months. I have also friends coming back to USC after a gap year, and
definitely we are very flexible, so students can take leave to take internship, and some of our students maybe they take leave to do military service. So I think it's quite definitely is even though it's not very common, but it's very flexible. We also see nowadays more students doing gap semester or gap year internship, so to add to their work experience before they graduate. So next question is, how is the alumni network of HKUST Business School? Did you have any chance to interact with some alumni during your studies so far?
So for me, I had this fortunate opportunity to be connected with one of our alumni who graduated around 9 or 10 years ago, actually.
Wow.
And he's working in a big bank right now, and I'm so happy that we're able to schedule a call next week to learn more about him.
Is this through a mentorship program?
It is not actually, it's just alumni network. Yeah,
Okay.
just have friends.
For me, I joined a thing called career mentorship this year, and this is a program where each students are allocated to a mentor that is graduated from early on. So for mine, she's a marketing solution manager in Asia Miles, and we were able to have time, such as you said, to find a time to talk and like exchange information, which is a really great opportunity. And also for business student union societies, they would also have like mentorship programs as well, where they hire specific alumni that are graduated from specific programs to come and have a chat with students as well.
Yeah, we have a very active and supportive alumni community. Right now, I think we have over 26,000 alumni out there already, even though we are relatively young, but our alumni are very supportive. They help us in many different things. As speakers, they hire our students as interns of the graduate positions. A lot are active in mentoring our students. So we also have alumni across different cities and countries, not just in Hong Kong. When we travel, for example, I just came back from a trip, actually an admission trip from Jakarta, and part of that trip we also organized an alumni happy hour gathering, and the alumni are very happy to be able to get together and also hear some updates from the news. And last month I actually was in Taipei, and then I went hiking with a few alumni. So we have active alumni network across the globe. So next question is, usually how many courses do students take per semester? Can I overload to finish degree earlier? Okay, well, my first comment is, why do you want to finish earlier? It's so much fun to be, a student, and we have lots of enrichment activities. But certainly, students, you could take more credits to try to shorten your study. How many courses do you take per semester usually?
So I'm currently a year 2 student, so I'm taking 13 credits. But before that, I wanted to get a major ASAP, so I took 18, which is my maximum credit.
So it's about 4 or 5 courses.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's quite typical. Students usually take 4 to 5 courses per semester, and students can take up to 20 credit per semester. Yeah, so I think we still have some time that we can answer a few more questions. Right, so what's the difference between admitted to a program directly or admitted to the school in my first year of study? So maybe you can share your experience.
So for me, I'm actually a program-based admission student. I was admitted with information systems, but as we can see, my major is now JUPAS. So I think there's the flexibility that UST offers, the credit-based system, and major selection exercise, where they still allow us to explore opportunities through foundational courses and talking with faculty advisors. They're really helpful.
Okay. Usually students have 2 concerns. One is whether they will be slower in terms of progression of their studies. So as I mentioned earlier, that students basically follow the same curriculum in the first 3 semesters, so you don't have to worry about progression. The second question usually is how competitive, how easy it is to get the major that you want. And based on our statistics, we see that actually about 90% of the students can get their first or second choice. So I think that is really high. Oh, next question is about exchange. When do students go on exchange and how to apply? So all our exchange agreement actually with our partner is that students should finish half of their curriculum. That means students will go on exchange either in the 3rd year or the 1st semester of the final year. And the application is actually about 9 months or a year before going on exchange. So students will fill in application form, and the selection is actually quite similar to admission. So we'll look at students' academic performance, but also interview performance, to what extent they are mature enough to and can take care of themselves to study abroad and also to represent HKUST. But since we have actually a lot of opportunities, half of our students are able to go. So it's really something that is a very valuable experience. Can I go exchange more than once? Yeah. So normally, all our students can apply for exchange once, except one of our programs called Global Business. Because of the nature of the program, the students can apply for exchange twice. For students in other programs, if you want to gain more international learning experience, you can also consider applying for visiting program or, for example, summer exchange and so forth. So that is, there's no restriction on how many summer program, like you went to Stanford and things like that. All right, so I think this is about the time that we have. So we are very pleased to be able to share the exciting life of studying at HKUST Business School. If you have any questions, please refer to our social media and also can contact us for more information. We hope to see some of you on HKUST campus next year. Okay, all right, bye-bye.